Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G, is in the twilight of his career. When brought up in boxing debates, there are a lot of questions. Is Triple G an all-time great, or is he just another overhyped fighter? Hey guys, welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the content. Well, let me say this first. I'm not a fan of any particular fighter, though I do have my favorites. And Triple G is not one of them. Great fighter though. As you see by the title, I will shed some light on the Golovkin versus Ward and Golovkin versus Mayweather fight, which didn't happen, but are all connected, which you will see in today's episode. Just consider this as a new angle on the whole discussion, with facts, fairness, and proper context. Triple G was avoided by many middleweights, including champions, for a very long time. And until early 2017, Team Canelo was stalling the Golovkin fight. Let's start off from the Kell Brook fight. Now I will say, Golovkin faced some subpar opposition during his career, and the Kell Brook fight was
still a piece of garbage.
Got beat and hasn't looked right ever since. To his defense, Brook is a fighter who was offered a fight and took it instead of Chris Eubank Jr., who was originally supposed to fight Golovkin until he walked away because of his father, Chris Sr.'s demands. Going into the Brook fight, Golovkin held all of the middleweight straps but the WBO title, and the world demanded the Canelo fight, as you can see in part 3 of the Triple G Saga. Keep in mind, this was the post-Floyd Mayweather Jr. era, meaning taking a loss would lower your value in the perception of the people's eyes, thus at the negotiation table.
You can't call out a welterweight, like you don't get any stripes for that. And not even just me, but another legitimate super middleweight. Like if you want Floyd to come up, somebody who's done everything in the sport, doesn't have to lift another finger in the sport to prove anything. But yet you won't go up to fight. At that time when I was still a super middleweight, the best super middleweight that's out there, after doing all that talking, but yet you want to come try to pick on me and get a pay? Come on, man.
Now when Triple G wasn't able to get fights with other top tier middleweights, he could have fought Andre Ward, and he didn't, so if you want to call that a duck, go ahead. Now, to all you guys who criticize Gennady Golovkin for not taking the Andre Ward fight, please answer this question. If taking your first loss would damage your value in the marketplace, knowing that your most lucrative fight of your career against Canelo was right around the corner, what would have been Golovkin's incentive for fighting Andre Ward in the interim? Back then, Ward was still a top 3 level pound-for-pound fighter with sublime boxing skills, one of the best boxing IQs in fight, meaning SOG had the ability to adapt and switch up styles during the fight. Go check the first Sergey Kovalev fight for proof. And you're talking about Andre Ward, who's gonna give you a rough fight with all the Bernard Hopkins-like tricks, because the mentality to win by any means necessary has been Ward's MO since he was 12 years old. So you're talking about Andre Ward, who won the Olympic gold medal as a light heavyweight, who finished his career at light heavyweight, versus Golovkin, a small middleweight.
30 days before my fight, like I was 65, my training camp. Yesterday after sparring, I was 64.
Meaning on fight night, Golovkin would be the smaller man by 15 pounds or more, which is a 2-weight division differential. If Gennady Golovkin wanted to cement his legacy, he could have fought Andre Ward, but the risk was way too big, and the reward just wasn't there. Because as great of a fighter Andre Ward was, he couldn't sell out his own backyard. So again, what was Golovkin's incentive for fighting a skillful, bigger man, knowing that a career-high payday in a fight against boxing's cash cow Canelo Alvarez was just a matter of time?
Special for Floyd, of course I won't go into 154 or 160 if you want. This is a dream fight.
At least going down to fight Floyd Mayweather, Golovkin would have been compensated richly. Now I rate Mayweather's boxing skill fantastically gifted, especially defensively, and he deserves all the credit for making some of the greatest business decisions, especially during his final chapter of his active boxing career.
I told Triple G what he had to do if he wanted to fight with me. You gotta call out Andre Ward, beat Andre Ward, then I'll fight him.
That was a ridiculous demand, which Team Mayweather knew Team Golovkin wasn't going to accept. Yeah, Floyd was the A side, but he also called himself TBE during his active career, who didn't always want to test himself against the best opposition. Now, he didn't need to fight Golovkin per se. However, beating an undefeated avoided middleweight champion who was running through the division would have made a very strong case for Floyd Mayweather's status as TBE, which to me was more marketing and hype than anything else.
Imagine if Floyd would have did some shit like that. Imagine if Floyd would have been 147 and fought a guy that was like 135.
Well, he did. When Mayweather came out of retirement in 2009, his first opponent was Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez, who in the previous fight fought Juan Diaz at lightweight. Now, at the time, Marquez was ranked number 2 pound for pound, and according to Money Made,
he got a country behind him, a country.
So fighting Marquez was a great move from a business point of view and a very credible opponent. However, in reality, Floyd Mayweather let Marquez come up 2 weight divisions, which Marquez never gone before prior, to fight at a catch weight of 144 pounds, which Marquez failed to even make.
Official weight, 142 pounds.
Floyd himself came in 2 pounds over.
146 pounds.
Pretty much a division Floyd was already accustomed to. Now, fair play to Marquez, did whatever he could to win.
He drinks his own urine.
Now, the event did over 1 million pay-per-view buys because Floyd Mayweather sold the hell out of it.
Mexicans and black fighters has been dominating for years, and you always get your biggest fights when you match the 2 together.
Great business, kudos to the money team. However, in terms of fighting legacy, the Mayweather versus Marquez fight made Errol Spence Jr. versus Mikey Garcia look like a toss-up. He tried to take credit for beating a man who would have had success at welterweight years later, but at that point wasn't accustomed and heavily overmatched. Because Dinamita had a hard time moving up 2 weight divisions, was sluggish, slow as molasses, and his punches couldn't hurt Floyd in the slightest. The point is this: Marquez was a lightweight coming up 2 weight divisions against a bigger, faster, and more skilled fighter in Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, Mayweather was the money fight at that time, even more so than Canelo Alvarez. So when Golovkin expressed his interest to fight Money Mayweather at 154 pounds, a division at which Mayweather already fought multiple times at that time, certain sections of the boxing community shamed Golovkin.
But he's willing to go to 54 to fight Floyd. But he don't want to go to 68 to fight Ward. Yeah. That sounds funny to me.
Shit that he gets away, that these writers, that you guys let him get away with, but nobody calls him out for it. That's amazing to me, man.
Triple G now become a victim of his own talent. Where does he go from here?
His own talent. He had the opportunity to fight Andre before Andre left. He's not a victim of his own talent. He had a chance to take it. He just didn't never do it. So that's not a victim of your own talent, because Andre wasn't going to run from you. Andre was a 68-pound champion, fight anybody come that weight class. But now he go up to 75 because he ain't got nothing to do either. He feel like Triple G ain't coming, so he may well go after Kovalev.
I don't know. I don't understand how you work for Andre Ward, works for HBO, but he can't get a fight with Triple G. How that happens? What the fuck wrong with that picture?
When Ward was asking him to come up and fight, nobody gave him shit about coming up. Oh, he can't sell tickets. He's constantly mentioned fighting 54-pounders, and he's the middleweight champion of the world. That shit is crazy to me.
Ward is more accomplished than Triple G is, because Ward is he won the Olympics as well. He hasn't lost since he was 12 years old, and on top of that, he won the Super 6. He beat Froch. He beat all them dudes. So he's more accomplished. Why he got to go down to 64? That's bullshit.
And Mayweather, he gave Team Golovkin all these crazy stipulations.
I told Triple G what he had to do if he want to fight with me. He got to call out Andre Ward, beat Andre Ward, then I'll fight him.
And Mayweather used Andre Ward as a diversion because he really did not want to face Golovkin, much like Golovkin did not want to face Andre Ward. And similar to Marquez when he faced Mayweather, Triple G would have gone up 2 weight divisions to fight a bigger and better skilled boxer. And if by some magical performance he'd pull off the win, then move back 3 weight divisions to fight Mayweather, how's that fair? Now, if you failed to answer that hypothetical question, let's throw in some historical context then. March 1st, 2003, a historical day when Roy Jones Jr. became the first fighter coming from middleweight going all the way up to heavyweight and capturing an official heavyweight title by beating the silent man, John Ruiz. Right after, Jones had 2 back-to-back fights with Antonio Tarver at light heavyweight. And you know what RJJ said?
My energy level, the first Tarver fight when I beat it behind, it was hard because I had no energy and I just came back for that 25-pound loss. That probably was the hardest fight I ever had to fight because I had no energy and I still won with no energy.
Roy Jones Jr. had an illustrious career, beating multiple elite all-time great fighters. And his toughest fight was the one after losing 25 pounds just to make the light heavyweight limit. As Roy Jones proved, it takes time to adjust. You can't just be going up and down weight classes without your body getting taxed, especially when you're facing world-class opposition. Maybe it was a style matchup, maybe it was something else. But physically, the Jones who faced Antonio Tarver wasn't the same guy who nobody could beat just 2 fights prior.
To get a sustained attack against him.
So by asking Triple G to go up in weight to fight a man at 2 weight divisions above him who was a better boxer, then going back down and basically telling him to move weight classes a la Roy Jones Jr. with no time to adjust to the weight, physically taxing your body, which Team Golovkin understandably was not willing to submit, you're calling that a duck? I personally believe Golovkin would have lost the fight against Andre Ward, which would have lowered his value at the negotiating table with Canelo Alvarez. A fight that fans were already demanding anyway.
What are your thoughts about fighting Triple G?
Me vuelvo a poner los guantes ahorita mismo con él.
If you want to fight him right now, put the gloves on right now and fight him now.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
Now, of course, Golovkin would have killed himself to fight Mayweather at even 154 pounds. Would he have gotten the opportunity? Because that represented the money fight. Why else do you think Floyd had that nickname? In contrast, Ward couldn't even sell his own backyard, held no titles, so the reward wasn't as big for Team Golovkin to be keen for the Ward fight. As for SOG, he went on to beat undefeated Sergey Kovalev in 2016 and stop the once feared Russian juggernaut, becoming the unified WBA, IBF, WBO champion at light heavyweight. And Golovkin, he went on to fight Canelo in the end and did over 1 million pay-per-view buys twice. Has been a career 160-pounder who, at the making of today's episode, has slowed down significantly, but still might be able to produce a couple of great performances. And that goes to show that not taking the Andre Ward fight did not matter too much because it was a high-risk, low-reward situation. And it had to be this year to come to that realization because hindsight is always 20/20. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment below and let's have a conversation. Feel free to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the content. This is Boxing Subjective Observer with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.